So when I was in high school, I had two best friends named Caleb and Dylan, and we did everything together. Going to 7-Eleven, doing our homework, lighting fireworks, just everything. And we also started smoking weed together, which Caleb bought the first time in front of his house in the Palisades. The dealer pulled right up to his front door, basically. The dealer only a year or two older than him. Caleb got in the car, they drove down the block. Caleb bought an eighth with some money he'd taken from his mom's purse. And then walked back inside past his mom, who was standing in the front lawn the whole time. And when she asked who that guy was, he was like, oh, I was returning a school book. And she seemed to buy it. And when we started smoking weed, we would always smoke at Caleb's house. And we would actually smoke in front of his house, because, on the sidewalk, on his front steps, because his parents' window faced the back, so we thought it was safer. But, I don't know, the sidewalk. And we would only smoke together because we weren't, cool enough to, go find other stoners to smoke with, because we were, a little late to the game. But somehow Dylan would always show up with new slang every week that he would just pepper into conversation, he picked it up at some party instead of spending hours on weed blogs, researching what to say. But we did actually get in trouble sometimes doing the things that potheads and just that boys do. And the worst time we got in trouble was probably the time we got handcuffed and practically arrested for smoking a blunt. It was winter break of my sophomore year of college, and we were all back in LA. And the three of us plus two more friends decided it would be a great idea to just get really, really high. So for hours we would cram into my tiny little first-generation Prius and drive up to the top of Chautauqua behind Caleb's house, which was our high school spot for smoking weed. And so we were just going up there smoking blunts for hours until we ran out of Swisher Sweets. So we drove over to Save-On and bought a White Owl, and Dylan rolled a gigantic blunt in the back of my car in the parking lot. So we go back to the spot, but as we're finishing this White Owl blunt, a really sketchy two-door Kia or something, just with completely tinted windows, and the windshield just pulls up facing us, and it sort of weirds us out. So we start to leave, and as we pass it, it pulls in behind us, and then all of a sudden police lights flash on in front of us, outlining an SUV, and we just hear, put your hands up, stop the car! So I sort of have my hands up, and I reach down, put it in park, and then put my hand back up, and they pull us all out of the car, and there's two undercover cops from the little sketchy car, and then three uniform police officers from the other car. And one of the uniform officers, she has sparkly lip gloss on, which was really weird, and going in LA. Just a weird shocking moment. And so then they pull us out of the car, they handcuff us all behind our back, and then they have us face this fence with our legs spread, with our backs to my car, and start going, where's the blunt? Where's the blunt, guys? We saw you baking it in the parking lot, we know you haven't, we've been following you for 2 hours, where's the blunt? And we're just this seems really ridiculous, why have they been following us for 2 hours? And then we're kind of a deer in the headlights, but finally one of us musters well, we smoked it. And they're well, where's the end? Where's the rest of it? And my friend Charlie goes, he says, oh, I threw it out along the way. And they're where? And he sort of gestures to the curb, generally. And then two cops actually begin to search for this tiny brown nib amidst just inches of mucky, dead leaves. And after they don't find that for a while, then they start questioning us some more. They start going, any cocaine in the car? No. Any warrants? No. Any weapons? No. It's just a bunch of potheads. No. And so they're asking us, and then finally, it seems a little strange to have these 5 officers following us for 2 hours in the Palisades, because the Palisades is a very quiet neighborhood, and there was a few bank robberies when I was in high school, and after that the police presence was up to one empty parked police car. which, so for there to be 5 actual police officers in the Palisades, it meant that they had to be called from somewhere else in the city, probably the actual city part of the city, and called for some disturbance, which turned out to be a pack of 19-year-old potheads. And so, you know, I could tell that they weren't going to leave without something after all this, you know, effort, and I was just sort of in shock, which the cops took for me being wasted, and I just wanted to get it over with, so I told them where the weed was in the car, and it turned out they still couldn't find it for like another 15 minutes, so I probably should have just kept my mouth shut. But, you know, after they found that, they cited 2 of us, they took off the handcuffs, 2 of us including me, and then they sort of tried to be all buddy-buddy with us, and they were like, well, you know, there's been some robberies, and, you know, we thought you guys were going to, like, vandalize somebody or something, so, and, you know, like, do what you want to do, like, we don't care, but weed happens to be illegal, and, what are you doing? And then they parked my car, they didn't do a sobriety test, but they parked my car for me and had us walk home unattended, which, like, if we were going to vandalize somebody, that would be the time. We didn't, because they're not that cool. But I didn't tell my parents about it for a few months, and it wasn't because I was worried about getting in trouble. I already had that covered. But I just, you know, I wanted to do it on my own. I wanted to, like, get myself out of trouble and whatever, and didn't want them to be disappointed. That whole thing, and I talked to Caleb, my friend Caleb's mom first, who's a public defender, and what she told me to do was to tell my parents what happened. And I was also worried because in high school, my dad had found weed in my car, and he had this talk with me where he was like, well, you know, it's not that bad for you, like probably more healthy than alcohol, except for the smoking part, but like, if you really like need to smoke dope, like, just do it at home, and, you know, especially not in the car. So I really felt like I'd let him down. And, you know, when I called him, he was sort of, you know, he was a little hurt that I hadn't trusted him enough to call him sooner, and then he said, you know, I told you to smoke it in the home if we had to smoke it and not in the car. And I was like, no, I'm really sorry, but I thought I could handle it, and I can't, and, like, just really need your help. And he was like, okay, buddy, like, I'll see what, I don't know, I'll make some calls, I'll call you back. And somehow through friends of his, or through, like, his lawyer's friends, it was some complicated thing, he managed to find this amazing lawyer who, she specializes in major, like, just marijuana cases. And not only that, but she wanted to defend me in court for free. I mean, this would be like getting Johnny Cochran to defend you for digging your neighbor's car, like, also for free. And so, like, I'm so lucky to have had her come in and represent me. She got the charges dropped based on lack of probable cause, because they were following us for 2 hours. And you know, my other friend Eric, who's the other person who got cited, he had his medical papers, so he got off totally fine as well. So everything turned out okay, and we didn't actually get arrested, I guess, but it was really scary. And we were handcuffed, and we were yelled at. So the following summer, me and Caleb went and got our medical marijuana recommendations together. Thanks.